This is my shocked face. So a certain tweet has crossed my path, and the second that I saw this tweet, I went into research mode. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Eddie. I'm a pretty trans man with a Scottish accent, and today we're going to be talking about Joanne and the files. Now, for legal reasons, you're going to be hearing me say the word alleged throughout this video like about 50 times because I am a trans man who talks about JK Rowling, and JK Rowling is a multi-million billionaire who sues trans people for talking about JK Rowling. So just to cover my ass, what I'm going to do is I'm going to present this video with just the things that I have found and what other people are saying. You guys are going to make up your own mind based on what you've seen and what we're hearing. And if anything develops further, obviously I will report on that, but this is what we know so far. So it started with this tweet, breaking J.K. Rowling's team invited to a Harry Potter party. And I was like, show me the fucking pictures. So I went and I found them. So far, there are 2 communications of note between J.K. Rowling's team and the man himself. So the first image is an invitation to Harry Potter and the Cursed Child Parts 1 and 2, Sunday, 22nd of April 2018. And it is for 2 tickets, I believe. There's no names put on this directly. A lot of people could argue that it's just speculation at this point. However, there is another image which I will show you right now here. So this is the first part of this email. There are 2 pages to this. I'll show you the second page in just a second, but there's the name right there. So there's no doubt in anybody's mind that if these are real and from the actual files, that this is J.K. Rowling's team directly inviting him to Harry Potter and the Cursed Child dinner party on Sunday. There it is up there. Pause to read if you want to read the whole thing, but here is that second image. So these 2 go back to back. This one and the previous one that I just showed you before are all part of the same email thread from the files that show that they're asking for, I think it was 2 tickets, and it's for a Harry Potter dinner event and invitations to go and see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child Parts 1 and 2. Now, colour me not surprised and 100% disgusted. This is a woman who has been advocating for the protection and the safety of women and very young children now for years. And the year 2018 is really notable because around 2018, it was already out. There were already accusations against this man. It was already known what he was and what he was up to, and yet she still seems to support him. Now, I went and found a couple more takes on this. I also went on a deep dive and I found a couple of the tweets that have the direct links to them. So if you click on these, it takes you to the US Department of Justice page. It says here, like, I am not a robot, and you click on it and are you 18 years old? Yeah, verified. And here they are. These are from the links. It's the same invitation, and then if we go back over, there you go, it takes you directly to these two pages here. So the links take you to the images that I've just shown you. I thought that this comment was very apt. Every accusation is her confession. Food for thought. I thought that this tweet was also very profound. You'd think that the sexual abuse and trafficking of vulnerable girls and young women would be the highest of profile from those shouting to be the representatives of women's safety and women's rights. Instead, silence, not a single post, and I wonder why. And the search results from J.K. Joanne Rowling, there are none. Dead silence, absolute silence. So it's certainly interesting. It's certainly interesting. That's for sure. I also saw this tweet, not a word from the world's loudest self-styled defender of women's rights about the files revelations. Silence. Instead, the energy goes back into bullying a trans woman online. Again, that tells you exactly what this has always been about. Power, not protection. Obsession, not safety. Noise when it suits and silence when it matters. If she was really, let's break it down. If she really was the defender of women and children's rights, as she says she was, she'd put that cigar down and she'd fucking talk about this, but she doesn't. now. I went to see what other people had to say about this, and I did find one TikTok from my mutual Alice. I will link Alice's TikTok down below if you want to get involved in the conversation. Please be fucking polite if you're coming over from me. But this is what Alice had to say, and I thought it was really well presented. So
J.K. Rowling is named in the Epstein Files. While most mentions as of yet aren't really relevant, there are two that actually are. One is a personal invitation by J.K. Rowling's team to see the Broadway premiere of her play, including a special private dinner in between the two parts. This was done at Jeffrey's request, who wanted him and a guest of his to be able to attend. This was a personal invitation from J.K. Rowling's team, which means that it most likely wasn't done without Joanne's prior approval. We're talking about the Broadway premiere of her kids' play of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child here. The other relevant piece in the Epstein Files is actually an email asking Jeffrey to personally introduce them to J.K. Rowling, seemingly pointing to a personal relationship that is more than casual between Epstein and J.K. Rowling. How well she knew Jeffrey, as well as his trafficking, remains to be seen, though I would argue that having your team extend a personal invitation to your Broadway premiere means that you most likely know him very well. And this was in 2018. Might I remind you that at that point, Epstein had had multiple criminal investigations that happened, starting all the way back in 2005, with also a criminal conviction in 2008. Not to mention also Eva Cordero's very public accusation in 2009 and Virginia Giuffre's accusation in 2011. So at this point, he was a very well-known predator. And J.K. Rowling seemed to have a very personal relationship with Jeffrey despite all of this. But it should be pointed out as well that in 2018, it's not long before J.K. Rowling started publicly pushing transphobia into the public sphere, something that benefited both Epstein and J.K. Rowling, to scapegoat trans people instead of owning up to the predatory behavior of cis men. But are we surprised given that currently, the predator Andrew is currently getting VIP visits to the set of the series for Harry Potter, being very near children in this moment, despite him having had such a close relationship with Epstein? But are we also surprised with J.K. Rowling, who called Lolita a great love story? So much for that defender of women and girls, right?
So Prince Andrew is being invited to the set of Harry Potter. Please check in on those kids. Don't blame the kids. The kids have done nothing wrong. It's not the kids' fault. Please check in on those kids. If people like Prince Andrew are allowed on set, please, I beg, check in on those kids. Now, for legal reasons, all of this is alleged. We have to remember that all of this is alleged. But an awful lot of stuff is definitely coming out, and if it proves to be all true, it just goes to show that an awful lot of accusations are just self-confessions. Trans people are being used as a scapegoat. Now, I did see a very disturbing email, a very disturbing correspondence in the files regarding trans people, where I'm not going to show it right now. I might make a separate video about it. Trans people are referred to as a fetish. That's what we are to these people. That's what we have always been to these people. We are a fetish. We are a scapegoat and a fetish. If people are looking at us, they're looking away from them. That's what we are. We are a little red cape dangled in front of the masses to make them pissed off at us so that they can do what they're doing, shall we say. But I have seen it. And if you want me to talk about it, let me know in the comments down below. I have to be very careful with how I talk about this because this is not stuff, as you can see, like I haven't put like any comedic spin on this. This is a very serious topic. This is something that is very, very serious and needs to be treated and taken seriously. And there's like the horrors of what has happened and what has been going on, and then the realities of what has happened and what is going on top of the realities that trans people are facing as the scapegoat to these horrors and realities. Like, we're the straw man. We're the ones that are being targeted to take your attention away from the people who are doing this to children. I'm going to need people to like open their eyes just a little bit. I'm going to need people to like actually open their eyes and open their minds and think. If Joanne was such an advocate for the safety and well-being of children specifically, not even just women, but of children, she would be speaking out about this. But no, it's trans topic after trans topic after trans topic after trans topic. Absolutely nothing about the victims that are in these files and nothing about the files themselves. And instead, apparently, allegedly, she was inviting and is inviting her and her team. So like her through affiliation, if not directly, inviting these really dangerous people into an environmental space where children inhabit. Do you understand how serious this is? I know you do. If you're following me, I know you do. But for the off person, the off chance that someone who doesn't normally frequent my content comes across this video, do you understand the severity of this situation? Trans people are not the threat. Predatory behavior is very much the threat. That this has been allowed to continue, that this has been allowed to happen, that this is something that we are talking about in 2026, that these people are running our governments, that these people are running our industries, that these people have gotten away with it for so long, and then have the audacity to stand up on their 14 million follower platforms and say, but trans people. But I'd love to hear your thoughts and conclusions about it in the comment section down below. Do we have any more information on this that I have missed, that I haven't seen? If I see anything else coming up about this, I will of course report on it. What are your thoughts? And are you surprised? I can guarantee that you're not. And I'd love to hear what you think about all of this in the comment section down below. It's just going to drive me to make more trans positive content. It's just going to drive me to make even more trans joy content. And if you want to see trans people just living their lives in a positive light, then subscribe to the channel. I make trans joy content. I report on stuff like this every so often, but I always try to like countermeasure that with like, if I do this one week, next week we go hard on the trans joy. Because trans people deserve better. Trans people deserve better. Trans people deserve to just live without people who associate with certain people being allowed to dictate how their lives are governed. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the comments. Check out the links in the description for all of my socials. Become a member if you want to help support a trans man on the internet. And just remember, I'll say it again, just remember, allegedly, every accusation from these people is an admission of their own conduct and behaviour. Stay fabulous, trans community. I'll see you in the next one.